Hey everyone, I am Elizabeth Sherman from Total Health by Elizabeth, and I am a health coach. What I do is I help folks, specifically women, help them lean into healthier habits. And so one of the biggest questions that I get from my clients is which one is more important? The number of calories that I'm eating in a day, or the amount of, or the quality of the food. So let's talk about that a little bit. So first, and I want to add that if you have any questions during my talk, I'm going live right now. If you have any questions, feel free to type them into the comments. I love hearing back from you guys. So anyway, so first question is, let's start back at the basics and get a little bit of level set here. So what is a calorie? A calorie is simply a unit of measure that is what your body takes in for whatever food that it is that you're eating. So there are certain things that have calories and there are certain things that don't have calories. Specifically, those things that have calories we call macronutrients. And macronutrients are things that we need in large volume. Those macronutrients are carbohydrates, protein, fat, and alcohol, actually. So carbohydrates and protein both have about 4 calories per gram of unit, okay? So when you look at a nutritional label and you see that something has, let's say, 10 grams of carbohydrates, that means that 40 calories are in that food that are coming from carbohydrates. Same thing for protein. So if you have 10 grams of protein in a food, then that means that you're getting 40 calories from protein. All right. Now, fat actually has almost double that of carbohydrates and protein. So fat has it does have 7 calories per gram of fat. And then alcohol is actually even more calorie dense. So alcohol actually has 9 calories per gram of alcohol. And I have a couple future Facebook Lives planned all about alcohol. So stay tuned for those. So what are some of the things that don't contain calories? And those things that don't contain calories are things that we need less of. And so those would be vitamins and minerals. So those do not contain any calories at all. And then also water doesn't include calories. So when we talk about calories and we talk about gaining weight or losing weight, we want to talk about this thing called calorie balance, or you may have heard it referred to as calories in versus calories out. And what that means is that when you gain weight, you eat more calories, you take more calories in than your body is spending in a day. So you have a calorie surplus. When you maintain your weight, that means that the calories that you eat or drink are equal to those calories that you're burning. So you're at equilibrium there. Now, a lot of times when we want to lose weight, what we want to do is we want to decrease the number of calories that we're eating or drinking and increase the number of calories that our body is spending or moving. So what are some of the things that allow our body to burn calories? So your body is burning calories all day, every day. So just the simple act of laying in bed will actually allow you to burn calories. This is called your basal metabolic rate. And there won't be a test, don't worry about that. But any additional movement on top of getting out of bed is actually going to increase the number of calories that you burn in a day. So things like breathing, moving, walking, doing, chores around the house, any movement is actually going to increase the number of calories that you burn in a day. Now, add on to that any additional, exercise, like from strength training or cardiovascular exercise, and sure, you're going to bump that up even more. But The main amount of calories that you're burning in a day are really going to come from your basic metabolism, your basal metabolic rate. Okay. Now, there is some, so ultimately, getting back to the question, which is more important, calories in versus calories out, or food quality? So there's no doubt about it that in order to lose weight, you need to take in fewer calories than your body burns. Okay? So that is absolutely true. However, there is a point at which that becomes, I don't want to say it becomes less important, but then food quality becomes more important. So for someone who's just starting out in weight loss, then just cut out some calories. And really, all you have to do is lower your calories by about 100 to 200 calories per day. And that's really only like 1 to 2 slices of bread. And once you do that, then you'll start notice weight coming off. Now, once you plateau, that can be when food quality becomes more important. And so let me talk about a concept called thermic effect of food. Again, there's no test on this, just understand what I'm talking about. So you may have heard something called 0-calorie foods. It was popular in like the 1970s and 1980s. The theory was that if you ate celery, the act of chewing the celery would burn more calories than the actual celery itself. So there was this concept behind negative calorie foods, that if you ate these certain foods, that you would burn more calories than the foods that they themselves contained. And that's really just kind of, BS. But foods do have different, your body will burn different foods differently based on what they are. So let me explain this. So for every, let's say, 100 calories that you take in that are fat, your body will use 3% of those calories, those fat calories, just to process, to digest, and to use those fat calories. So out of 100 calories of fat, your body will really only retain in digestion 97 of those calories, okay? Now, when we get into carbohydrates, that actually ranges a little bit. And so with carbohydrates, your body will use anywhere between 7 and 20% of those calories for processing those carbohydrates in them. So for 100 calories of carbohydrates, your body is going to use either anywhere from 80 to 93%, okay, of those calories. And then when we get into protein, that's even larger. So that's actually 30%. So let me talk about the range that we talk about when we're talking about carbohydrates. So the difference in the 7% versus 20% is in processed foods, processed carbohydrates like baked goods and cookies and things that are really, don't have a lot of nutrients in them, to the other side where 20% is based off of whole foods. So you can see there, based on the foods that I'm eating, my body will actually burn more calories in converting those food into energy so that my body can use them. Does that make sense? So when you're starting out in weight loss, eat what you're eating. And don't necessarily worry about quality of foods. Just cut out a little bit. You don't need to do a huge, drastic, calorie deficit. You just need to do a little bit. move a little bit more, like 100 calories more, take a walk around the block, and just cut down on your food a little bit. And what will happen is you'll start to notice that your weight will come off, and it'll come off very gradually. I know we all like instant gratification, but it'll come off gradually and it'll be sustainable. Then, once you hit a roadblock, once you hit a plateau, then start looking at the quality of your foods. So, move away from the cookies and cakes and move more into the whole foods. So have a little bit more vegetables or whole grains. And then also, you could also have a little bit more protein. Protein is great because it keeps you fuller for a longer period of time. So, in summary, the question is, which is more important, calories or food quality? And I think the answer to that is it depends on where you are in your journey. So if you're at the very beginning, don't worry about food quality, just worry about calories. But if you're stuck, then start paying attention to what is it that I'm eating, and can I get a little bit more refined in my eating? Can I clean that up a little bit? And when you can, do. And you'll find that you'll be able to get out of that plateau. So that's all I have for you today. Don't worry, I'm going to be talking about alcohol a little bit more next week. And so watch out for those, and I will talk to you later. Again, I'm Elizabeth Sherman from Total Health by Elizabeth.